everyone, Pam Gregory. I'm going to be speaking to you today about the first half of February, and in particular the new moon that we have coming up in Aquarius on the 8th. Now, we still have our ongoing Uranus-Pluto square. It isn't exact anymore, but it's still within about a degree, and that square won't really start to separate until around April of this year. But we're still going to be feeling the kind of ripples of the radical changes that have manifested as a result of that over the last 4 years in our own personal lives and certainly in the world. The aspect which is becoming dominant for 2016 is Saturn square Neptune. And if I had to summarise this in one word, it would be around issues of trust. So it's very important that you have no hidden agendas, you have no secrets, you live with an open heart, because there could be quite a lot of scandals coming up with this particular aspect. Watch with our leaders, with the politicians, and see how that manifests. But just have complete integrity. Live authentically, that's very much the message of Saturn in Sagittarius. Live with an open heart and live with coherence, and then you won't be caught out by these issues of trust. Also, Jupiter conjunct the North Node. This is in Virgo. That's going to continue all month. And this can bring about a sort of divine discontent, a feeling of yearning and wanting to fulfill your dreams. And that's why I think there's going to be quite a big move in people's employment to do something that is really on their authentic path. Also, another manifestation of Saturn square Neptune. I've talked about many in my previous videos and previous newsletters, so check those out. But another manifestation, which I think we're going to feel quite a lot through 2016 with all the planets in mutable signs, is that things that we felt were stable and secure and enduring in our lives that we thought would never change, that's very much the Saturn side, we might find going through 2016 that they dissolve or they shift, or simply they seem less important to us. And that is going to free us up to be more flexible and adaptable. It can help us get over some old stuck patterns and habits and ways of being, because we're going to have to be a little bit faster on our feet, I think, in 2016 with fast moving changes that come in various areas of life as well. Also, with Jupiter in Virgo conjunct the North Node, Virgo is very much about your daily routine, your daily habits. So you might find that you want to make improvements in those, whether that's your diet, your exercise, your nutrition, whether it's developing a spiritual practice, whether it's getting more involved in yoga or tai chi or qigong, where there's a desire for self-improvement on a daily basis. But also see where this is moving through your chart. Jupiter is currently at 22 degrees of Virgo. It's retrograde. It's going to be moving back to 13 degrees of Virgo by early May. So see where those degrees between 13 and 22 fall in your chart, because then, of course, in early May, it's going to start to move forwards again. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, so wherever that is falling in your chart, just watch for expansion, watch for new things coming in, watch for personal growth opportunities in that area of life. Jupiter is also opposing Chiron all of this month, and so Chiron is very much about healing. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. So people, particularly with anything between 17 and 20 degrees of the mutable signs, and those are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius or Pisces, will perhaps really be feeling some strong healing shifts, some strong energy shifts happening for them, and that will continue this month too. And what's interesting is that Chiron is also conjunct the South Node. The North Node is our collective destiny, where we're evolving towards. And the South Node is what we've already done. It's the past, it's skills and abilities that we've developed, but it can also be our collective wounding too. So with Chiron there's an opportunity to just surrender your individual past, surrender the collective past, if you like, to a higher intelligence. Just feel that there's an intelligence that knows better than you, to which you can surrender all of that from the past, and that will also help you move on too. So there can be almost feelings of bliss happening during February, and I'm going to be talking more about that when we get into March too. However, there's some very different energy happening in the first half of February too, because there are going to be some days when we're going to be feeling quite intense, that the emotion is running quite high. And those could be the 5th of February, where we have Mars in Scorpio in quite awkward aspect to Uranus in Aries, and that could bring up some frustration or irritability or impatience, so just watch for that. Also, on the 12th of the month, we have the Moon in Aries, which is quite hot-headed, quite volatile, coming into conjunction with Uranus and squaring Pluto. So again, it's highlighting that Uranus-Pluto square. So there could be a kind of sudden instinct to, be angry or be impatient or impulsive. So again, watch on that date too. On the 18th, again, it's the Moon, but now it's conjunct Pluto and squaring Uranus as opposed to the other way around. And that could bring up some issues of power for you. Who has the power? Is it someone other than you who has the power? And that makes you feel pretty intense. So watch those dates. And also the other date I would suggest where you're feeling intensity is round about the new moon on the 8th, which I'm going to come back to in a moment. Because this time around, it isn't the moon, it's Mercury and Venus together with Pluto squaring Uranus. So mentally, you might feel quite intense. Emotionally, you might feel quite intense. And although there can be moments of mental clarity with this, that's the Mercury-Uranus side, some real aha moments of perception. There could also be issues around the split of worldly achievement, security, financial security, and again, power, who has it, versus your own independence and freedom, just wanting to be completely free. So that could be the polarity, the issues that you're feeling strongly round about the 8th. But on the 8th, we have our new moon in Aquarius. It's happening at 19 degrees 15 of Aquarius. It happens at 6:38 a.m. Pacific and 2:38 p.m. UK time. So just see where 19 degrees of Aquarius falls in your chart, because it's often a very good idea, many people do this, is set a new intention for the month at the new moon, because it's a new beginning. But if you can set your new intention in line with where it's falling in your chart, then you will be focusing your energy and intention where you are naturally unfolding. You'll be going with the flow. So is this new moon in Aquarius happening in your second house? Is there going to be a new source of income coming in? Is it the 5th? Is it going to be something to do with creativity or children? Seeing where it falls in your chart and developing your intention in line with that will really help you with your unfoldment as you go through the months. And it gives you much more meaning in your life too. Now, what is helpful here, given the intensity we've talked about in the first half of this month, is that Aquarius is about the community, the collective. And one aspect about the Saturn-Neptune square, which I've mentioned in previous videos, is there's the greater potential for a global spiritual community. So this new moon in Aquarius is very much on that theme, that we recognise that we're stronger when we all act together as a collective. Also, the sun and the moon, which are always together at a new moon, are aspecting Uranus positively. Uranus actually rules Aquarius. So Uranus is the genius, the maverick, the innovator, the reformer. So it can really bring in some very oblique thinking, seeing things from a very different point of view. Uranus connects to the superconscious, so it can bring a lot of creativity and kind of out-of-the-box thinking into any stuck situation that you're in. So you may be viewing those situations from a very different point of view. What's helpful as well is that Mars in Scorpio, which gives great determination and focus, is squaring this new moon, the Sun and the Moon. And also the Sun and the Moon are aspecting Jupiter and the North Node. So this has a quality of expansion, of vision, of new horizons, and particularly new horizons where you're kind of stepping back from the intensity and seeing things from a different point of view. You'll be able to see the bigger picture more easily because Mars is also in a very positive aspect to Chiron, so that heightens our intuition. We can see things in a bigger way and a different way. So this could really help to dissipate and dissolve some of the intensity we'll be feeling on those days that I've given you. So really do see where these aspects fall in your chart. The intensity tends to fall between 16 and 19 degrees of the cardinal signs. That is Aries, Cancer, Libra and Capricorn. So if you've had any planets or angles between 16 and 19 of the cardinal signs, you'll be likely to feel the intensity more. If you have anything between 17 and 20 of the mutable signs, that's Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius or Pisces, you'll be feeling the healing, blissful, surrendering energy more. But really seeing where these fall in your chart will give you so much information. And astrology is never as simple as just having one aspect happening in your chart at the time. There are many, many layers of aspects. It's like a matrix happening. And so you can start to build on your knowledge if you understand some of the basic things in your birth chart. The other thing I'd say about the intensity is really in any situation where you're feeling intense, take a breath, step back and use that mindfulness technique of almost observing the situation as if someone else was in it. So take a breath, step back, observe before you jump in and speak or act. That can really help get perspective on the situations too. But this first half of the month has some really wonderful opportunities to see things in a different way and give us much more vision. And this feeling of divine discontent and yearning that's coming in can really take us a very long way to possibly change our destiny, where we're headed. So I wish you a very happy new moon. And if you'd like more information about my book, my audio book, my free monthly newsletter, which is over 3,000 words now, just check out my website, pamgregory.com or thenextstep.uk.com. And thanks so much for listening.